What is going on, gamers? Aevatrex here, and yesterday I put up a video saying we're gonna be streaming on Pocket Live leveling up a surprise hero, and that was Gunslinger. You probably could already tell, but essentially we went ahead and did it on stream, so if you were there, shoutouts to you. If you were not, then you're getting this a day late. But essentially, we went ahead, got Gunslinger, and we leveled her up. We double evolved her, and we tried her in a lot of different game modes, HBM, Lava Isle, and all that good stuff. And we're gonna go ahead and show you some of it here, but I do have some other videos that I'm gonna be showing with her, Lost Battlefield, and other things like that. But just off of just the first few hours, I guess you can say, of playing with her, double evolving her, and all that good stuff, she is absolutely a crazy hero. Now here's the thing, there's a caveat to her. She's not one of those heroes that you use to like one-shot things like a Trixie Tree. If you get a Trixie Tree with 8 War God, 8 Bulwark, and you're able to get like a Cupid buff on her, she can one-shot things. Gunslinger isn't really made that way. Gunslinger is made more for drawn out fights, like Here Be Monsters, or for instance in Lost Battlefield, where it's like a Ghoul team where you're there to kind of survive and overcome the enemy. That's really where she shines, but in reality she pretty much shines everywhere. Now a lot of people ask me, why do I have Scatter on her? Well, first of all, it was the first talent that I got, so it's not so much that I wanted Scatter on her, it's just that's just what I got. But I got to thinking, she's going to be a crazy Here Be Monsters hero, and Scatter is one of the top talents for Here Be Monsters, and if we're gonna be getting a new Here Be Monster wave here soon, which I would assume because the dungeons just came out, and usually dungeons and Here Be Monsters new releases are not far apart, I would assume that having her with Scatter, or not just Scatter, but even like an 8 of 8 Scatter, is probably going to play a major role in these new waves. Not only that, but her War Flyers, or whatever you call them, yeah, War Flyers, I'm just going to call them UFOs, they also come with 5 Scatter. So if you have 4 War Flyers with Scatter hitting what I would assume would be a demon, with her also having Scatter, that's a little OP right there, especially when it comes to Here Be Monsters. Now we actually did try her out in the Infernal Summit, so she was actually very impressive in this game mode. Essentially what I ended up doing on my team, I was running a Heartbreaker on the side, on the top side, which is my usual spot. So I took out Heartbreaker and put her in, and let's just say that she really shines. So she is right next to the Demogorgon, right at the top there, and as you can tell, these War Flyers, they don't care about hero base range or anything like that. They just go at whatever they can inside the whole map. They don't care. They also stun, they, like I mentioned before, they have Scatter. So all in all, it is super good. Now, like I was mentioning before on my last video regarding this, Phantom King is still, I believe, is still probably the king of this game mode overall, just because it's just so good. Look at this, look at this. But the thing about her is that with those 4 War Flyers, not only is she adding damage, not only is she adding Scatter, which are 2 very important things for this mode, but with her stun, it can help you with survivability, and it can help you keep going in this wave. Now, the only thing though is that you have to have somebody to keep her up, like a Ghoul etc. But her talent is able to actually make her take a lot less damage. Think Drake. When Drake procs, he gives himself a shield that negates a lot of damage. I believe with Drake it goes up to like 90%. She's very close to that. She's either the same or like 80% at max level. I'm not 100% sure exactly how much, but she's up there. So every time she procs, she's putting herself on that shield, and that is going to help her survive. A lot of people say that she's really squishy, which she kind of is, but when she puts her shield like that, it makes her very, very hard to take down. And in Guild Wars defense, she is just absolutely nuts. Like, what can you do in Guild Wars defense? Now, coming up here, I'm gonna go ahead and show you something that is just absolutely insane. Just keep in mind that right now she has some Pumpkin Duke buffs, and the Pumpkin Duke and the Cupid buffs do affect the War Flyers. Now check this out. I'm gonna slow motion it here for you. Check out this War Flyer. It goes out, just one gets there, right? Completely takes out a wave. Like, yes, those are all ghosts, okay? One War Flyer was able to take out one complete wave on one proc. Now, of course, it had help from Pumpkin Duke, but that is absolutely insane, especially when you take into account things like here be monsters and whatever. If you get a few Pumpkin Duke stacks, this thing is just going to be clearing out the waves for you. It is absolutely madness, and that's why I'm thinking that she is going to be one of the key heroes for any coming here be monsters. Like, if you don't have her, you're gonna have a much harder time easily from those that do have her. So that's why I kind of don't want to move away from the scatter. I think the scatter is going to be one of those you know, one of those talents that you kind of want on an Arctica or a Moltanica, etc., just because it's so good. Revitalize on her isn't that useful, considering that she's auto proc and she gains energy. I believe it's like 25 energy every second or something along those lines. So Revitalize isn't that great of a help. So if I was to suggest a talent, I would have to say a defensive talent along the lines of either Bulwark or Stone Skin. Stone Skin especially. Now again, I'm going to slow it down for you. Check this out. Boom. Nuts. Completely wiped out yet another wave before it even had time to to materialize, pretty much. And what they do is they just kind of stay in place until they get their next target. So they don't go back to her or anything like that. They just stay in place. They're like watchmen, and she'll continuously keep spawning them, which is ridiculous. So like I was saying, I'm gonna have some other gameplay with here be monsters, etc. on her. She in Lost Battlefield, she wasn't that impressive, just because she's not really meant to one-shot things or do insane amount of damage right off the bat. But if you get her on the right team to take a lot of hits, she's gonna overcome any team. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and until later.